Breaking updates coming in at the moment. There's footage of a Palau-flagged oil tanker skylight on fire, following which Iranian strikes that took place near the Straits of Hormuz. That's the latest update coming in. Oil tanker skylight has been attacked, and those are the pictures coming in. In fact, for India and several of the tankers, particularly ones near Oman, we've seen how Indian crew members were evacuated. All 20 crew members in this case as well being pulled out. We're told that 15 of the 20 crew members were in fact of Indian origin. This is very significant, Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastava, because these indiscriminate bombings of tankers, this is something that is completely unacceptable, because it's one thing to say that we are targeting US bases. To target any civilian asset such as an oil tanker is an extremely dangerous precedent to set, because this could lead to all sorts of escalations.
So, Madhav, as an Iranian, if you think, which is very desperate, if they can't hit anything, they would like to bring about some kind of economic cardiac arrest. They feel that if Strait of Hormuz is made of not a place of a free flow of oil, from where the 20% of oil of the world comes through, they will be able to cause some kind of chaos. They want to bring in this. This is that last-ditch attempt which a person or an adversary who's been fully distracted is trying to do. This is not, I have been telling you, there's no plan, there's no, you always have you have a method in madness too. There is no method here. There's no method of military here. So it is just happening because this last-ditch attempt, they want to create chaos, and creating chaos has been one of their statecraft. They were doing this with the, axis of resistance, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthi, which actually has started all this. If you go into the background of this, 7th October is one of the marked dates when they attacked the Israel. And what they attacked, it was a civilian population which was just enjoying music and fun, and those youngsters. So that is not the thing which will happen. And this is what they do. And this is what the punishment is coming through. Right. And I agree with one of the speakers who just said that these are all the end game. They have very limited time with Iran now to wage any kind of attack, because the only power they have, the only inventory was supposed to be about 3,000, which must have got depleted. And as you said...
Inventory of missiles, you're saying, or drones?
Inventory of missiles.
Okay.
Drones, of course, they have a large number, but that can all be decimated, because the way intelligence is, targeting intelligence is coming, right, and the kind of air dominance you have, they can hit anything and everything from where you think something is coming out. So they will be decimated. There's no doubt about it. Right. I have no doubt about it.
Let me bring in Captain Balsar. Captain Balsar, the fact that you're seeing Burj Khalifa targeted, you're seeing the Jumeirah Palm, Fairmont Hotel targeted, similar high-value targets that clearly Iran is now looking at, and it is trying to shift the focus to show how it can target, these situations or landmarks that would have huge economic impact. Now, what is really the game over here is a big question, because this would lead to an equally strong response. And we saw what the US has said this morning, that they are going to respond even more aggressively to what they are calling Iran's misadventures.
See, let there be very clear that there's not madness. Iran had very clearly said that in case of an attack, the attack would be on these Gulf states. It had also made it very clear that in case of any conflict, Strait of Hormuz would be closed. And Strait of Hormuz, mind you, is closed since yesterday. No ship has crossed the Strait of Hormuz. There is as a mariner, I can tell you, there are hundreds of ships actually loitering outside Strait of Hormuz and inside Strait of Hormuz. The ship that was crossing came under fire, and that's where we have seen casualties, which was actually Indian crews as well. So it's an important issue. Iran knows that if Hormuz remains closed, the oil prices will shoot up. Already the crude prices have crossed $72. And if Hormuz remains closed for a longer period, the crude price would touch $100, which is actually counterproductive for the global economy, including the United States. So it will have an impact. Many of the US allies will have a problem. More importantly, most of the Gulf monarchies which support the US are actually non-representative governments. So they are actually autocracies ruling over a population which are again fiercely anti-American. So these attacks may unravel some of them, and that's what is happening. We have seen the attacks in Bahrain and Qatar have been very serious, though of course attacks in UAE and other Gulf monarchies have been relatively milder, but the attacks in Bahrain and Qatar have been quite serious. So there is a possibility. You need to also understand that Bahrain is a Shiite majority country ruled over a Sunni sheikhdom. So there are huge turbulences, huge problems which can emerge. From India's point of view, you have a huge Indian diaspora in all these countries, which contribute around $50 billion in remittances every year. United Arab Emirates is India's third largest trading partner. So from our point of view, any turbulence in Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz is a very, very significant factor.
Right.
So a prolonged war is neither in our interest, nor in US interest, nor probably I can't say about Israel, because for Israel, it doesn't really matter if the war prolongs. But for United States, it's a serious issue, because as the body bags start coming, US will have problem. There is already reports that yesterday the Fifth Fleet headquarters were attacked. So there may have been some casualties. I'm not sure if any lives were lost, but there were huge destruction of property in Bahrain. So those are the factors which will affect. And please understand, without putting boots on ground, you may not be able to conquer it. So one has to see how Iranian regime gets weakened.
Okay.
How much attack can be sustained.
Okay, we're going to slip into a very quick break. I'm going to request all